Hey, welcome back, everybody. This is the author reading experience of the book The Happiness Effect, my debut book. This is actually, we're up to chapter 5 now, so if you're just joining us, make sure you go back and check the other chapters out. There's some good information in there. There's some little life shifts you can create that will help you create massive amounts of happiness and health and abundance in your life. Anyways, check out the other chapters. Thanks for joining us today. If you've been with me the whole time, thanks for sticking around. Very grateful. I'm so glad to have people following this, and I hope I'm helping you in some way, because you're definitely helping me, man. It gives me joy to be able to share this information, because I know it helped me. I know it did good things for me in my body, in my mind, my life, my family. Everybody is benefiting from what I've gone through. So hopefully I can share some tricks with you that will benefit your body as well. I'm still out here. I'm in Riverbend Park in northern Palm Beach County in South Florida. Beautiful place, a lot of wildlife, just a lot of nature. It smells good out here. A lot of sunshine behind me. I hope you can see me in this video works out. That's one of the challenges of trying to do these out in the open. I'm not an expert videographer, but I'm working through the challenges and hopefully bringing you some good information. Last chapter, we kind of learned about how to start making your life a little healthier. You learned about my smoothie recipe. Oh, wait, let me show you the book again. Wait a minute, not that one, not that one, not that one. Here it is. Stephen T's Ultimate Smoothie, available on Amazon. Yeah, I'm not selling it to you, but that's the smoothie that I started taking when I first started changing my life. So I decided to write a booklet about it. It was kind of cool. There's a couple other booklets. Check them out on my website, balancedbynature.net. And be sure and join our Facebook group, The Happiness Effect. There's a link below. Click on it, join it, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, because that way you'll be notified every time a new video comes online. So do those 3 things. I'm not yelling at you. I'm just thinking it might help you out a little bit. So thank you very much, and leave some comments, get involved. That's all my sales for today. So thank you for putting up with me. Let's get right into it. This is chapter 5, and this is going to be a tough chapter for me to read. Every time I do this, it's tough. Every time I read it while I was writing the book, it was a challenge. A guy took about $8,000 from me, and I'm going to go through the whole story, but it was a tough situation to live through. I had a lot of faith in this dude and was giving him an opportunity, and he just really screwed me and my family to the point where my family was actually fighting. My wife and I would fight and stuff over this. So it was a bad time, but we've beaten it back. We've overcome it, and that's what the point is. I want you to get from this is that bad things happen to us, terrible things. Even when we think everything is going smoothly and everything is going our way, bad things still pop up in our lives, and it's how we react to those and how we perceive them is what will dictate where our life goes from then. So it's very important that you face challenges head on. You don't get upset over them. You take the time to step back and try to refocus, reorganize, and then move forward in a more positive way. Anyway, you don't learn a lesson by quitting when things get hard. You learn by doing, failing, and getting back up again. This is a quote from Sir Richard Branson. He's a great example. One of the richest men in the world, several great companies. Didn't start from tons of money, but he was able to stick to his dreams, and many setbacks. Read some of his books. He's faced many setbacks in his life, and he's always come through it because he's faced his challenges, he reorganized, and then found a way forward. And that's what we all have to do in our lives. Chapter 5, My Hard Lesson to Learn. I learned a hard lesson shortly after buying my first piece of property. I'm telling you this only to show you that you need to be able to laugh at adversity. It took me a year to realize this was a good lesson to learn. My life had been about learning lessons the hard way. If you told me I couldn't do something, I would try it anyway. The universe has a way of knocking on your head, hoping you will learn before it punches you in the face. In my past, I usually ignored the knocks, the gut feeling, the instinct, and was regularly punched in the face until I learned to listen. Today, I try to realize when the universe is telling me no prior to a full-blown punch in the face. So true. You know, my example of my opioid addiction. Several times my body told me this is wrong. My mind told me this is wrong. You know, as I'm standing in line at the pharmacy to get my next month's supply of these deadly drugs that were supposedly helping me, I knew this was bad. I knew I had to quit. I knew I had to cut down. but I refused to listen to my body. And then things would start happening. Forgetfulness came in. One night, this is when I smoked. I actually was smoking in bed, and I fell asleep, and I woke up to this 4-foot flame next to my head. And that day I knew I had to quit. I had to quit that day, and that was years before I finally quit. So it took me going into the hospital, nearly dying, for me to straighten up and try to see things. So I try not to do that anymore. I try to listen to the gut feelings today before something terrible happens. In the universe, your God, the source, the creator, you will get little hints of what you should be doing in your life. You can even ask the question, is this the right thing? And I swear the universe will provide you an answer. Something will pop up that will make you hopefully take the right decision. It's that whole free will thing, man. You can't get away from it. Today I try to realize when the universe is telling me no prior to a full-blown punch. My wife and I had saved some money and found 10 acres of raw land with a 3-acre utility easement on it. The easement went right through the middle of the 10 acres. But because of the easement, no one wanted the property. Maybe they were right, maybe not. Anyway, so the price was a third of what land was selling for. I thought I could plant crops or raise livestock. I love goats. I wanted to have a goat farm. They're super beneficial for us. They're fun to watch. Anyway, I wanted to have goats on there, and I could put that on the easement. I just couldn't build a permanent structure, so that's no big deal to me. It could still be my retirement property and my future organic farm. Everything was going great. We had power and water installed, and all that was left before moving forward was to have a fence put up. Da-da-da-da. One weekend while visiting our property, we stayed at a horse boarding property where I was fortunate enough to meet the caretaker. He was tall and thin like a wrangler. About 40 years old, and he could talk with that slow country drawl that drives women wild and makes men feel comfortable. He told me about his Christian, that's how he talked, man. It was just really kind of slow and happy. He was always smiling. He seemed like a really good guy. He told me about his Christian upbringing and how he never drank alcohol. He also informed me about his fence building ability and how he was an Army veteran trying to make enough money to start his own business and stop caretaking for someone else. So he found out that I was in the Navy, and once he found out and learned that I was a veteran, then he used the same thing. I don't even know if he was actually an Army vet or not, but he did claim that he was. And as soon as he said that, we bonded, and maybe that was where I went wrong, because just because we're veteran brothers and sisters doesn't make us good people. Just going to say that. We set up another meeting to finalize details so that he could start building our fence. The day of the meeting was a cold, rainy day. All we had for protection was a small 10-foot canopy, which hardly helped as the rain pounded us. And it was probably about 32 degrees out. It was cold, miserable, rainy day up in North Florida. The caretaker showed up, and he was shaking so badly he could hardly talk. He seemed to be in withdrawal, and he was showing many of the symptoms I had become familiar with. But he claimed he was just sick and cold, and again he said, well, I don't even drink. And he probably didn't drink, but he was definitely withdrawing from something. Now, I'm going to say this again in just a second, but you know, I know what drug addicts look like. I knew what withdrawal looked like. I knew this guy was going through it. And the minute this conversation was done, I told my wife, he's going to steal the money. We're not going to get anything. And whether it's because I thought that had happened or whether it was really going to happen and I was getting that gut feeling, this is what happened. I have 20 years experience as an investigator. I grew up with drug users. I had been a drug addict. I should have seen the signs. But I was so excited about getting my fence up that all sense of reason left my mind. Instead of listening to the universe, I forged ahead, because that's what I do. I forge ahead without thinking sometimes. You know, I was getting the gut feeling. Every instinct in my body said, don't give him the check. Don't do this today. Everything told me that, and I went ahead with it because I ignored all of that. I just wanted this fence up. Didn't matter how I got it. I was just going to do it. This was the guy that was going to do it. And so I ignored the gut feeling. Don't ignore your gut feelings. Seriously. Anyway, that day we handed him a check for $8,300. He was so nice and friendly that I never even checked references or conducted a background check. Things to learn. Do a background check. Know who you're dealing with, my friends. Know who you're dealing with, always. Just because you see me on this video, if I meet you in person, don't give me an $8,300 check. You haven't done your background on me yet. Do a background check on me, promise. It's going to make things work better. As a matter of fact, our written scope of work was also very vague. We mostly had a handshake deal. I'm telling you, man, he was just super friendly. I'd have given him 50 grand. He was just that nice of a guy. Con artist, man, con artist. And you know what, this is another thing. I was pickpocketed in Europe when I was in the Navy. And this lady and her cute daughter were trying to sell me flowers. I didn't want the flowers. Me and my friends were saying, get out of here, get out of here. So anyway, she sticks these flowers in my pocket and they walk away. And so I stick my hand in my pocket to pull the flowers out, and all my money's gone. It was about 150 bucks. And so I go back and confront these people and show of force, blah, blah, blah. We get our money back. But I should have known. I've been conned before, man. It wasn't the first time. And I just fell, hook, line, and sinker. Fell for it. When I read the agreement today, I realized that what he said he was going to do would have cost us twice as much as what he charged us. Too good to be true. And that's true too. Everybody knows that. Too good to be true. Don't do it. Think. That cold, rainy day was the last time we saw him or my $8,300. I was able to catch him on the phone once, and he said he would start working in a week. That was the last time he would even answer his phone. Now he filed for bankruptcy. There was really nothing I could do at that point, and you'll see that here in a second. But he had no claimable assets. Yeah, he took me. There was nothing I could do about it. The police, as well as the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, told us that because the check was written to a business, not an individual citizen, there was nothing they could do. Apparently, and this is so true today, listen to this. Apparently, businesses are not treated as harshly as citizens are. And this drives me nuts, you know. This is my complaint, I guess. Businesses have a lot more leeway with the legal system than an individual does. And I'm going to say it right here. A citizen would be arrested for theft or fraud, but not a business. A business, your only recourse is to file a civil suit. If the business goes bankrupt, then you can go after the owners civilly. If the owner doesn't have any assets, it's just going to cost you a lot of time, money, and frustration, and you're not going to get anything back. You'll get no satisfaction. So you just have to learn to live with it, which I did, and you'll see that. Anyway, but not a business. The business had filed for bankruptcy. There was nothing for me to do but sue him civilly. As he had zero assets, there was nothing to gain by suing him. That was an $8,300 lesson which sapped the majority of our savings at the time. We still don't have our fence, and plans have been pushed to the back burner for now. We have not given up, just taken a step back to reevaluate and then move forward. Sometimes that's just the way it is, but you can't let a setback stop you. You must keep your dreams alive. You must never give up. You must never surrender. I stole that from the movie Galaxy Quest with Tim Allen. It's a crazy, silly movie. But anyways, it's so true, man. Never give up, never surrender. And I'll use the example of you're floating down the river on a raft. And this the raft of life, your raft, the river of life, and it's your raft, your life going down this river. Right in front of you is this enormous boulder. There's just no way, you just can't see getting around it. All you're going to do is hit head on as you get this boulder. And just as you get to the boulder, you use your paddle to kind of push you around. You find at the last second, you're like, oh, wait a minute, there is a way around. And you navigate around that giant boulder, and then you come back over to your life's path, and you start going straight down your path again. So yeah, giant boulders are going to pop in our life, but if you take a second to breathe, regroup, and work yourself into a solution frame of mind instead of a issue frame of mind. Okay, it's not, oh, I can't do this. It's like, how can I do this? So you change your frame of mind, you can beat that challenge. And yeah, this was a big roadblock in my life at the time, and it took a while to get over it. And now I have learned from it. I've totally learned from it, and I'm ready to move forward. At the same time, yes, he stole money from me and it hurt. But at the same time, I am grateful to still have my property. I am grateful for learning the lesson, and no one got hurt. Maybe my pride was hurt a little bit, but that has been fixed. I definitely learned to get everything in writing and always use an escrow account for large dollar transactions. Yeah, don't just hand your money over to somebody. Get an attorney involved, have him hold on to it through an escrow account. Get your banker involved, however you want to do it. Get your neighbor involved if you trust him enough. I don't know. Find somebody else to hold the money until the work is done. That was a big thing I learned. And really look at what's being written down in the agreement. Read the small print, read all the print, and know what you're getting involved with. And I learned that, and it's second nature now. I think you can see that even in a tough situation, there is good to be found. You just have to look for it. Things go wrong all the time, but if you learn from them and you look for the hidden good, you will be a happier person. And that is really true. This is only a 15-minute chapter, so we're going to probably upload a couple of them the day I do this one. So I hope you see that bad things happen in our life, and what we perceive as bad. I don't really want to say they're bad, because I don't view bad in my life. Sure, I lose some money, I lose my job, I get sick, get into a car accident, whatever it is, things happen in our lives, and things that we have no control over happen in our lives. Our job, in my opinion, is to see that challenge, that bad thing, as a way to improve my life. Okay, I get in a car accident. Okay, I get a new car. Insurance. Hopefully you have insurance, and insurance will help me get that new car. I've always wanted one. Here's my opportunity. I survived. I didn't get hurt in the accident, or I didn't get seriously hurt, or if I got seriously hurt, I got better. Whatever it is, there's always good to be found, and I can't stress that enough. And later in the book, it's in the back half of the book is where all this positive thought comes. So stick around. You're going to hear some good things as we go through this. Thank you for listening to chapter 5, I guess it was, my biggest challenge. It's one of my biggest challenges to life. And I've gotten over it, and it wasn't easy, and I've moved forward, and that's the important thing. And you can do the same thing. You really can. It's up to you, though. You've got to see it in your mind, and then take the baby steps every day. Set the intention, take the baby steps, and make your life better. Thank you for joining me today. Remember to join the Facebook group. If you're already in our group, welcome. Thank you. I'm glad you're there. I'll see you later today, probably. If not, check out my website, balancedbynature.net, balancedbynature.net. And also, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, because you will get notified automatically. You won't have to do anything, and you'll be notified when a new video comes up. So have a great day. Thank you for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. I hope this isn't the best learning chapter, because it's really just about me and my misery and how I overcame that. But you can overcome your misery too. So get outside, have a great day. What are you grateful for? Stay balanced by nature. Take care.